Good afternoon from the old boy here in North Carolina. Coffee on, coffee strong. I look down on the porch and my thermometer says 100, but we're expecting a thunderstorm to show up anytime. Anyway, topic of the video, dude. If you a young recruit, sheriff deputy, and you get hired on, and your first assignment is the courthouse, don't fret on it. I know a lot of the young guys, they want to start out, they want to get in the car and go bust ass and take names or whatever it is. They excited and eager, you know. Which is understandable. My sheriff would rather have the older veterans running the courthouse as opposed to the younger guys, simply because they deal with people and they've done it for years and they know how to have the patience, you know, with the people. Because your main order of business, if you're assigned a courtroom, get to know your judges, your DAs, and your defense attorneys as well. Here with the recent shooting in Raleigh, North Carolina, where the lady shot the two attorneys. Of course, I understand that case. I understand the reason why, so I'm not trying to start an argument on that. But your main order of business, if you get assigned a courtroom, what I generally did is I would check that courtroom 30 minutes prior to everything opening. Take your time, go in there, check the benches, under the benches. There might be something taped before they start letting people in up front. Go to the hallway, check your bathrooms, check the toilet, behind the toilet, make sure there's nothing stuck inside. You're looking for knives, weapons, handcuff keys. Yeah, you'll find that often. You're going to be dealing with district court and superior court. So, but while you're checking the benches, usually the clerk comes in with her files and setting up her computer. You help her get her files in, help her get set up, you know. Check the stand where the judge is, check the chair, check the desk. District court is usually faster. It's a more fast-paced environment as opposed to superior court. The superior court, you have a lot of trials, the jury trials. I'll get to that in just a few minutes, but district court is usually, courtrooms are full of impatient people. They don't want to be there. They want to be at work. They don't want to lose time at work, which is understandable. You have to be patient with them. And the DAs a lot of times is continuing cases to another date. It has to coincide with what schedule the attorney's got. A lot of times you have to wait for your attorney to get there for your case is heard and that sort of thing. Now, superior court is different because you have a courtroom full of people during jury selection. They're picking jury names out of a box one at a time. The defense attorney and the prosecutor are asking them questions, and then finally it seems like it takes forever. They'll pick 12 jurors plus 2, you know. And your main job is to watch that jury, to take them to the deliberation room, as well as watching the judges and the clerks. And you know, you got a lot of titles there in one hand, whereas a lot of times you might want to have if there's a spare deputy, kind of help you keep an eye on the courtroom, especially in the back, because if you have a case, a trial involving an inmate, for instance, they'll bring that inmate in, you have to take him to the room. Oftentimes you got to take the restraints off of him. He's got to be dressed in a suit before he goes before the jury and the courtroom. That's just the way they do. So a lot of times you want to sit close to where that inmate is with his attorney, because that's why you need 2 or 3 other people in the room with you, because he could take off real fast and jet and try to run out of the courtroom and do all of that. But we have a thing that we can put on them to keep them from running, that will restrain them from running. But it depends on the judge. The judge will give you instructions on that. But you always keep an eye on your clerks, keep an eye on your court people. So in the courthouse, it's just more than courtrooms. You always want to walk around and check the judges' chambers, make sure there's nobody hanging out in the hallway that shouldn't be there, especially in the restricted zones. Now the guys up front, they're responsible for getting the people in, running them through the metal detector, making sure, they leave the cell phones in the car, make sure they're not bringing weapons in, and, they slide a bowl through the thing, that sort of thing. So, it's not a bad job, but it's still kind of tough, whereas when you're dealing with these people, you always got to have your eyes open, scanning that courtroom, and especially certain types of courts, whereas you'll have victims on one side of the room and defendants on the other side, and you got to watch, because there can be times where they can tie up and start fighting in the courtroom. That's why you always got to have them separated. I never did like that. Why would you have, and a lot of times you don't know who's who till you get in there and start looking over the actual calendar. So then you've got to be real careful for that, because I've seen it happen 3 or 4 times so far in my career. So it's not a bad gig, man. Once you get to liking it, it's all right, But then a sheriff, he can put you where he wants to put you. But I always thought it was best if it was the older veterans. They seem to be able to run the court more orderly, and they had the patience with it and all that stuff. So, like what you're seeing here, man, hit like and subscribe. I just wanted to give some pointers out if you're a new rookie guy and you got hired on and your first assignment is the courthouse. Don't fret, just go with it. So, and that's the ideal job to have when you're going towards your retirement, is working the courthouse. So, but take care of your judges and your clerks and all that. Have a good one.